Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, fellow humans, compatriots from across the earth, I am Nikhil Parekh. In this video, I shall be speaking about my book titled You Die, I Die, Love Poems, Part 15, as well as giving you a recitation of different poems from this book of mine. So friends, let me commence with an introduction to this book of mine. About the poetry book. This book, which has 40 differently titled poems, is actually part 15 of the book titled You Die, I Die, Love Poems, 1600 pages. Poems symbolizing the immortality of love and at times its fickleness. Parekh takes the reader through a paradise naturally embellished with the ingredients of eternal romance and its sporadic failures. With the ingredients of eternal romance and its sporadic failures. As they say, life and death are two sides of the coin. Similarly, with every true anecdote of love, there also comes fretful divorce. A thing which has been most sensitively described throughout this great collection of poems for the heart, written and dipped in each ingredient of the passionate blood. Parekh comes out with startling revelations about the truest of love stories and their failures. Each verse has been delicately intertwined with the boundless aspects of relationships, romance, cheating, betrayal, and goes on to prove that immortal love towers over every shattered heart. Start to finish with some of the most heart-rendering love poems ever. This makes a great collection for every true lover, breathing and desiring to be loved on earth and beyond. This collection of poems aims at perpetually uniting every heart on this universe in the spirit of immortal love and friendship, because these are the two quintessential ingredients to lead life till its last breath. Irrespective of whatever color, faith or religion, it is only the rainbow of love which can transform the ghastliest monsters and perpetrators of humanity into peaceful lovers. Therefore, this book inexhaustively endeavors to speak and preach the language of love even after its last embossed alphabet. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall now be giving you a recitation of 4 different poems from this book of mine. These poems are titled as Morsels of Invincible Love, The Talking, Before Two Bodies Could Meet, and The Heart Will Follow. Of course, at any juncture of mesmerizing existence, you can purchase this book of mine from Amazon.com. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a recitation of my poem titled Morsels of Invincible Love from this book of mine. Gregarious morsels of ravishing clouds to feed the lap of the fathomlessly spellbinding sky, inundate its barren persona with satiny charm and compassionate grace. Heavenly morsels of mesmerizing scent to feed the overwhelmingly sullen atmosphere, enshroud it with waves of unparalleled enlightenment. Indispensable morsels of robust food to feed the impoverished walls of the treacherously famished intestines, flood the stomach with beams of blissful contentment, patriotic morsels of vibrant energy to feed the unsurpassably exhausted soldier, fighting relentlessly to free his motherland from the corridors of diabolical captivity. Impeccable morsels of boisterous rhyme to feed the incessantly wailing child, embedded twinkle on his dreary face as he commenced his first hours of the brilliant day. Irrefutable morsels of sacrosanct truth to feed the indiscriminately blood-sucking parasites. Consecrate their abominably castigated lives with celestial joy. Consecrate their abominably castigated lives with celestial joy. Philanthropic morsels of benign peace to feed the lecherously satanic, enshrouded by whirlpools of manipulation. Trigger them to wholesomely blossom in the supremely ecstatic spirit of vivacious life. Immaculate morsels of placid grass to feed the divinely cow mother as she pacified the thirst of millions with her marvelously revered milk. Mystical morsels of esoteric enchantment to feed the fanatically groping magician, tickle his unsurpassable armory of tricks with overwhelmingly newfound excitement. Bountiful morsels of melodious honey to feed the garrulously quarreling insipid politicians, profoundly illuminate their miserably shivering lives, with the ointment of majestic happiness. Immutably morsels of holistic non-violence to feed the murderously vicious terrorists, entrench their despicably horrendous countenances with the omnipotent light of symbiotic existence, inscrutable morsels of bewildering effulgence to feed the voluptuously tantalizing night, perpetually fulfill its thirst for the unknown till decades immemorial. Unconquerable morsels of unflinching courage to feed the disastrously orphaned and maimed, propel them to surge forward exuberantly in every aspect of their ditheringly devastated lives, to eventually kiss the ultimate dormitories of sparkling success. Embellished morsels of stupendous charisma to feed the unrelentingly tossing bride. Grant her every philanthropic desire to blend with the clouds of marvelously proliferating eternity. Flamboyant morsels of blistering sunshine to feed the astronomically wonderful summit of the gargantuan mountain, perennially ensure that it bathed in glorious fountains of princely light. Eclectic strokes of ingratiating paint to feed the trajectory of the hopelessly barren canvas, profusely emboss every iota of its pathetically trembling visage with unprecedented hope and ebullient cheer. Enamoring morsels of innocuous leaves to feed the army of aimlessly wandering squirrels and scarlet-striped parrots, engendering them to vividly incinerate the abysmal stillness of the staggering night. Inevitable morsels of omniscient breath to feed the caverns of stupefying nostrils, flood them with the impregnable elixir to handsomely lead every moment of bestowing life. Blossoming morsels of fascinating newness to feed the disastrously stale arenas of frenziedly extinguishing life. Sprinkle its parasitically fatigued contours with the exuberant color to exist beyond its destined times. And invincible morsels of immortal love to feed the tumultuously throbbing blankets of the sensuous heart, granting it the most divinely reprieve from its inadvertently committed sins of past, present, and future life, rendering it as eternally alive. And invincible morsels of immortal love to feed the tumultuously throbbing blankets of the sensuous heart, granting it the most divinely reprieve from its inadvertently committed sins of past, present, and future life, rendering it as eternally alive. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall now give you a recitation of my poem titled The Talking from this book of mine. So here is a recitation of my poem. For the blissfully fructifying trees, it was the astounding festoon of marvelously enchanting green leaves, which did the vividly mesmerizing and sprightly talking. For the fathomlessly silken skies, it was the handsomely crimson puffs of untamed clouds, which did the inscrutably reinvigorating and compassionate talking. For the vividly exuberant oceans, it was the spellbindingly tangy swirl of the frosty waves, which did the uninhibitedly boisterous and triumphant talking. For the robustly harmonious body, it was the perpetually quintessential streams of scarlet blood, which did the timelessly humanitarian and victorious talking. For the resplendently enamoring rose, it was the celestially unparalleled fragrance, which did the pricelessly unconquerable and wonderfully divine talking. For the endlessly virile soil, it was the magically sprouting fruit, which did the unbelievably altruistic and bounteously symbiotic talking. For the indomitably towering mountain, it was the inimitably fantastic epitome of unity, which did the unsurpassably amiable and intrepidly replenishing talking. For the intricately nimble palms, it was the astoundingly mystical labyrinth of destiny lines, which did the inexplicably rhapsodic and ebulliently stupefied talking. For the limitlessly royal deserts, it were the enchanting undulations of sands, which did the boundlessly surreal and tantalizingly unceasing talking. For the ingeniously inexhaustible brain, It was the unassailable reservoir of fantasy which did the effulgently melodious and fearlessly sensuous talking. For the pristinely sacrosanct cow, it was the impeccably insuperable cistern of milk. It was the impeccably insuperable cistern of milk which did the righteously untainted and undefeatedly truthful talking. For the emphatically dancing eye, it was incredulously heartwarming river of affable moisture, which did the ardently coalescing and uninhibitedly blessed talking. Which did the ardently coalescing and uninhibitedly blessing talking. Uninhibitedly blessed talking. For the omnipotently blistering sun. For the omnipotently blistering sun, it was the amazingly unfettered rays of freedom which did the brilliantly liberated and timelessly infallible talking. Infallible talking. For the articulately evolving artist, it was the beautifully honest soul which did the unfathomably majestic and pricelessly synergistic talking. For the indefatigably patriotic soldier, it was the virtue of perennially indomitable fearlessness which did the victoriously jubilant and fearlessly liberated talking. For the omnisciently venerated mother, it was the freshly born infant which did the tirelessly euphoric and everlastingly enchanting talking. For the inebriated nubile maiden, it was a torrential cloud burst of sensuousness, which did the seductively captivating and gloriously titillating talking. For the chapter of unendingly proliferating life, it was the unconquerably endowing breath, which did the spellbindingly gracious and philanthropically ameliorating talking. And for the omnipresently true love, it was the unabashedly godly heartbeat, which did the mortally victorious and endlessly procreating talking. And for the omnipresently true love, it was the unabashedly godly heartbeat, which did the immortally victorious and endlessly procreating talking. Procreating talking. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall now give you a recitation of my poem titled Before Two Bodies Could Meet. So here is a recitation of this poem of mine. Before two eyes could perpetually meet, it was tirelessly indispensable that their majestically unfettered and symbiotically convivial empathy should forever and blissfully meet. Before two lips could perpetually meet, it was boundlessly indispensable that their sensuously proliferating and timelessly igniting passion should forever and impregnably meet. Before two palms could perpetually meet, it was insurmountably indispensable that their beautifully benign and inexhaustibly philanthropic selflessness should forever and unassailably meet. Before two bloodstreams could perpetually meet, it was limitlessly indispensable that their celestially unfettered and inimitably brilliant fragrance should forever and ecstatically meet. Before two fingers could perpetually meet, it was unceasingly indispensable that their wonderfully emollient and royally blessing artistry should forever and triumphantly meet. Before two skins could perpetually meet, it was irrefutably indispensable that their pristinely burgeoning and unfathomably astounding mischief should forever and enchantingly meet. Before two brains could perpetually meet, it was unconquerably indispensable that their panoramically liberated and marvelously humanitarian fantasies should forever and ever pervadingly meet. Before two shadows could perpetually meet, it was unsurpassably indispensable that their fathomlessly mesmerizing and mellifluously mollifying tranquility should forever and inseparably meet. Before two shoulders could perpetually meet, it was unlimitedly indispensable that their magically mitigating and benevolently Herculean strength should forever and exuberantly meet. Before 2 feet could perpetually meet, it was indomitably indispensable that their spectacularly brazen and uncannily tantalizing adventures should forever and vividly meet. Before 2 years could perpetually meet, it was poignantly indispensable that their gloriously untainted and supremely omnipotent sensitivity should forever and blessedly meet. Before 2 tongues could perpetually meet, it was irrevocably indispensable that their aristocratically unbridled and jubilantly enlightening melody should forever and eternally meet. Before 2 consciences could perpetually meet, it was inexorably indispensable that their miraculously ameliorating and effulgently optimistic truths should forever and resplendently meet. Before 2 eyelashes could perpetually meet, it was immutably indispensable that their spellbindingly nubile and beautifully synergistic flirtations should forever and victoriously meet. Before 2 bellies could perpetually meet, it was immeasurably indispensable that their unbelievably charismatic and magnificently rhapsodic titillations should forever and unshakably meet. Before 2 bones could perpetually meet, it was wholesomely indispensable that their ebulliently enamoring and untiringly sacrosanct ambitions should forever and indisputably meet. Before two breaths could perpetually meet, it was interminably indispensable that their passionately omnipresent and unrestrictedly augmenting sensualities should forever and undefeatedly meet. Before 2 hearts could perpetually meet, it was fundamentally indispensable that their immortally unstoppable and omnisciently faithful beats should forever and heavenly meet. And before 2 bodies could perpetually meet, it was infallibly indispensable that their profoundly impeccable and bountifully emancipating souls should forever and invincibly meet. And before 2 bodies could perpetually meet, it was infallibly indispensable that their profoundly impeccable and bountifully emancipating souls should forever and invincibly meet. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall now give you a recitation of my poem titled "The Heart Will Follow." So here is a recitation of my poem titled "The Heart Will Follow" by me. If you indefatigably dream of the radiantly glistening sky, the flamboyantly blistering sun will inevitably follow. If you relentlessly dream to float in the magnificently voluptuous clouds, the astronomically unprecedented summits will inevitably follow. If you intransigently dream to irrefutably succeed, thunderbolts of vibrantly mesmerizing prosperity will inevitably follow. If you incorrigibly dream of everlasting happiness, the blanket of unconquerably uninhibited philanthropism will inevitably follow. If you timelessly dream of invincibly immortal peace, the web of divinely sacrosanct wisdom will inevitably follow. If you timelessly dream of the piquantly ravishing ocean, the gloriously impregnable festoon of royal sharks will inevitably follow. If you tirelessly dream of the voluptuously majestic night, the garland of exotically glistening and seductive stars will inevitably follow. If you unequivocally dream of flirtatiously divine mischief, the realms of stupendously impeccable childhood will inevitably follow. If you immortally dream of euphoric poignancy, the incredulously emphatic mirrors of the scintillating eye will inevitably follow. If you irrevocably dream of charismatically tantalizing smiles, the marvelously unassailable impressions of innocuous lips will inevitably follow. If you incorrigibly dream of perpetual beauty, the celestial lap of your omnipotent mother will inevitably follow. If you endlessly dream of unsurpassably augmenting melody, the voice of the bountifully enthralling nightingale will inevitably follow. If you unceasingly dream of perennially omnipresent fragrance, the flower of astoundingly symbiotic mankind will inevitably follow. If you insatiably dream of ingratiatingly exquisite calligraphy, the feather-tipped pen dipped in wonderfully scarlet ink, if you insatiably dream of ingratiatingly exquisite calligraphy, the feather-tipped pen dipped in wonderfully scarlet ink will inevitably follow. If you intractably dream of vivaciously unraveling compassion, the stupendously incomprehensible wave of humanity will inevitably follow. If you uncompromisingly dream of intriguingly enigmatic flirtation, the spellbinding hills of boisterously robust youth will inevitably follow. If you eternally dream of immaculately glittering triumph, the spirit of overwhelmingly transpiring patriotism will inevitably follow. If you boundlessly dream of unflinchingly omniscient light, the rays of formidably benign hope will inevitably follow. If you perpetually dream of ubiquitously bonding brotherhood, the omnipresent religion of godly humanity, the omnipresent religion of godly humanity will inevitably follow. If you inexhaustibly dream of enamoringly blooming life, the fireballs of tenaciously ardent breath will inevitably follow. Fireballs of tenaciously ardent breath will inevitably follow. And if you incessantly dream of fabulously everlasting love, the mortal beats of the sensitively beautiful heart will inevitably follow. And if you incessantly dream of fabulously everlasting love, the immortal beats of the sensitively beautiful heart will inevitably follow. Ladies and gentlemen, it truly was a victorious privilege for me to have given this recitation of my poetry to your exuberant jurisdiction. At any juncture of mesmerizing existence, you can of course purchase this book of mine from Amazon.com. From the innermost realm of my soul, I wanted to express my gratitude. I wanted to express my gratitude to you for having patronized my poetry. Thank you for listening to me.